Alright, everyone, good morning to today's math session, excuse me. Today we're going to be covering positive and negative numbers, estimation, expressions, and BIDMAS. So let's get right into it. So firstly, I just want to look at kind of a number line and understanding what positive and negative numbers look like uh, from another perspective. So positive numbers are numbers greater than 0, so on the right side of the number line. Negative numbers are numbers less than 0 on the left side. 0 is neither positive nor negative. It's about that. So kind of understanding negative numbers for a bit. I'm sure you guys have all kind of done this enough, but can't ever know too much. So we'll cover this. Um, so thermometers show positive and negative numbers. Hull's highest temperature last year, for example, was 32 degrees, and the lowest temperature was -9 degrees. Um, so I think these are literally just positive and negative numbers just together. So I'm going to skip through that. The answers are already there. That's unfortunate. But let's keep going. Oh, hello. Sorry, I didn't see someone else had joined. Um, so opposite numbers are the same distance from 0, but on opposite sides of the number line. -19, 19, -7, and 7. So when you add two opposite numbers, the answer is always 0. And they've written it like a -19 plus by 19, which is, of course, a way of thinking about it. But if you want to rewrite this sentence, oh, sorry, this sum, you can do positive 19. So just 19 minus 19, and that would be the same as writing this. And I hope that makes sense. But when you add a minus, it is just a minus. So you could rewrite this by saying 19 here minus 19, and that would equal 0 as well. Yep, so that you're just adding with negative numbers. When adding, move to the right along the number line. Think of it as jumping forwards on the number line. Start at number 2, move 7 places right, land on 5. I think that makes sense. I normally, when I'm adding, um, you know, negative numbers and positive numbers, I try and add enough of the positive number to make it to 0, and then add on the remainder. So I kind of break up the sum into two sums. Um, Same thing. So yeah, this is just kind of covering what I said on the last slide. 6 plus minus 2 equals 4 is the same as 6 minus 2 equaling 4. Just a few more examples. So, and then when subtracting positive numbers, it's just a normal subtract. There's no difference. But then you subtract a negative number. Now this is interesting. When you minus a minus, it makes a plus. And the best way I like to think about that is like, the two minuses are like two lines, right? I think if you like combine these two, they create a plus sign. That's how I think about it. So whenever you see a minus, excuse me, whenever you see a minus before a minus, um, you should add that number instead of subtract it. There is no subtraction of a minus when there's two minuses. But then once it's just made into a plus sign, it's the same. So 7 minus 2 is just 7 plus 2. 5 minus 3 is just 8, 'cause it's just 5 plus by 3, 4. Minus 4 minus 2 is still minus 4 plus 2. Um, if that makes sense. Sorry, can I just ask what your name is? Sorry, it says Dogman, and I don't know.
Hello, my name is Asad Hussein.
Oh,
Asad
hi,
Mahmoud
Asad.
Hussein.
Yeah, how are you doing?
Yeah, I'm good.
Good stuff, good stuff. Um,
Um, how do I record this one so I can review it later?
don't worry, brother. I'm recording it, and then once it's finished, I will send it to the group chat, and you'll have it for your reference.
Where's the group chat? I don't have it. Or on
Um,
email.
yeah, so on the email, your first email, it says like congratulations on joining UK Versity or the functional skills. Um,
Okay.
in that email, there will be a link to join the WhatsApp group chat.
Okay, I'm gonna join it then as well. So I
Uh,
can review
sorry,
this.
how did you join then?
Here, oh, I got notification that I can join this meeting and I have like all of the other meeting. It's just blue link. I click it and then it got me here. But like at the
Mm.
start, there was no one for the first 20 minutes.
Understood. Oh, that's confusing. Okay, well, yeah, don't
And there
worry.
was only like I got an email that said like you had an
Started
meeting
the
here.
session.
So
Yeah.
just yeah, so just joined.
No, no worries. So that's fine. I'll yeah. So check your emails afterwards, and you should find a link to join the WhatsApp group chat, and that's where I post the session links normally. So
Okay,
yeah, just join that.
okay,
Um,
thank you.
no worries. Okay. Well, Asad, I have a question for you quickly, okay?
Yes, done.
Emma runs a beauty salon. She's currently overdrawn and her balance is minus 500. She has an agreed overdraft of £1,500. An agreed overdraft means a person may go overdrawn up to the agreed overdraft limit without incurring any bank charges or fees. How much will Emma have in credit after she deposits £750?
Uh, After she puts in 750 pounds in her account, she has right
Yes.
now she's minus 500.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, 250.
Absolutely. Well done. That is correct. So minus 500 plus 750 is 250. Absolutely correct. Now, did you do that by doing minus 500 plus 750? Is that how you
Yeah,
did that? Yeah? Or
yeah,
did
because I know that minus and plus is equal. Like you have to take away, not
mm-hmm.
give.
Yeah,
And then
yeah,
if
okay.
it's the same negative and negative or positive positive, then I had.
To add.
That's what I did. Yeah,
Yep, no, well done. I think yeah, obviously it's the same thing, but 750 minus 500 is is kind of it's 250. I think you know that. Off
yeah,
your top of your head, you know that number. So framing the negative numbers a different way can sometimes make them easier. Um, okay, so we have another question now. In 2 days' time, the bills listed in the table will be taken out from the same bank account. Will there be enough in the account using her overdraft to cover the outgoings? So, Asad,
yeah.
we have some bills here that Emma's gonna have to pay for her salon. Okay.
Okay.
Um, you know she has £250 in credit in her account. Okay.
Yes.
She needs to pay these bills. Does she have enough in her account to pay these bills or no?
The overdraft bill, no, she doesn't. It's 1,500, right?
Yes.
And she has only 250, so it's clearly not enough.
Well, no, no, no. So the bills, look at the bills. It says rent is 650,
Where is it?
gas is 150. See the table?
Oh, I didn't see it.
No
I was
worries, no
zoomed in
worries.
on the other side, sorry.
No worries. So look. Uh, tell me. I'll give you a second to look at the question. Don't worry. But just let me know what you think, okay?
No, it's not enough. It's way over 1,500.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, pretty simple, right?
Yeah,
Um, just the number's too high. Uh, the overdraft maximum is 1.5 thousand. The number's out of 12.75 thousand. So that was that. These are the first, Asad, I think you're new with us, isn't it? You've just registered. So
yeah,
these are like the very first math sessions, you know what I mean? Like
yeah.
these are the very
No, it's
simple
good
ones.
to get them back up in my mind because it
No,
has been a while since I studied math.
very
So
good. Okay,
yeah,
well, no
it's
worries.
still good for me.
Yeah, I just I have to go through the very simple questions,
Yeah,
regardless.
yeah,
Uh,
it's fine.
but I will explain how they come, in context, so that I can help
Yeah,
you. Um, yeah, you know how to write a number. I have a feeling.
mm,
But one thing I would say is these are all good, right? But decimals, and understanding which column is which on a decimal is very important. I think we have a slide on it now. Yeah, let's just do this actually quickly, Assad. So just if you can tell me what the three is. So if you can just say like, so I'll start. Okay, I'll give you an example. So for B,
yeah.
the three is 30. So it's 39. So it's 30, yeah. Three is 30 here. What would the three be in C?
It's 300. To 300, right?
Did you say 300?
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah, absolutely. In D?
13,000.
No.
44,000? Or is it like more?
Count the numbers after the three. So count all the numbers and imagine they were all zeros.
3,000.
No.
No.
Close?
30.
Yes.
30, okay. Yeah. I tried to
Um,
say 13, not 13. I tried to
no,
say
no, no, it's
30.
not
I
30.
said it wrong.
It's not 30. It's
What?
300,000. So
300. Oh, man.
that number is 1,300,000, 345,205.
Oh, then not a stick was from million.
It's all good, no worries. But just notice, right? So let's look at this, right? So if see look at D, right? Look at D for me. So if it
Yeah,
was can you see my cursor?
yeah, that's it.
Okay, so if the 3 was where my cursor is, what would that number be?
No, I don't see it anymore. What is your cursor?
Okay, sorry. If the 3 was where the 1 is, what would it be?
3,
Yeah, right. If it was where the 0 is, what would it be?
30,
If it was where the 2 is, what would it be?
300,
If it was where the 5 is, what would it be?
3,000,
Yeah. If it was the 4, what would it be?
13,000,
Thir 30.
30, 30,
30. Yeah.
30,
And then if it's here, what is it now?
300,000.
Absolutely. Perfect, Assad. So now E again. What's E? What's the 3?
This time it's 30,000.
30,000, yeah?
Mm.
Yeah, well done. Um, that's absolutely correct. Um, okay. Now we're gonna look at some estimations. Okay. Now this will come up in your exam, okay, at some point. You'll be asked to round decimals. You'll be asked to use those decimals to then estimate large sums like this, for example, 203
Mm.
verse 42. Now this is going to be interesting, okay?
Okay.
So I want to ask you, Asad,
Go
obviously,
ahead.
how would you do this? How would you think about doing this?
For me, I don't know how I would estimate it, but I would put like 203, use like add the math, like put 203 on top and then
Hmm,
42 and then take like, two
I see. So
and so, yeah, like
you
that.
do long multiplication, right?
Yeah,
Which
yeah,
is a written sum, right?
yes.
So that's correct, don't get me wrong. But so we're gonna do some
But
estimation now, okay?
yeah,
So
because that's why I want to know how to do it. Because if I've done that, it will be the answer will be incorrect. Just to want
no
to
worries.
estimate it, not fully
Yep.
answer.
Yes, I know absolutely, yes, absolutely. Yeah, that's a clear, it's a good definition though. When in maths, you know, you never estimate really, right? Because normally you have the numbers. So you
Yeah,
should be able to figure out the precise number of the answer, right? And so you won't rarely get like estimations, but an estimation means that you have to do something mathematically, right? It's not asking to just guess. You need to guess mathematically.
yeah.
So we're going to do that, okay? So you want to calculate 203 times 42. The calculator gives the answer 966. Do you think this could be the correct answer? Can you explain why? What do you think, Asad? Do you think 966 is the correct answer to that sum? 203 verse 4 times 45
Listen, 3, it's 42.
times 42. Sorry.
That's right. Uh, it is, but like the answer for the answer is not correct because it's the correct answer doesn't want the correct answer. It
Yeah.
wants something around the answer, the correct answer.
No, so no. Okay, so I think I understood you correctly. You said it's it's not the correct answer, but it's close to the correct answer. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Okay, so why do you think that?
Okay, yeah, please.
Sorry, Asad, I think you're lagging a bit. Your connection might have dropped. Wait a moment.
Yeah, I'm busy now. I was
Hi,
just
Asad,
doing
no
something.
worries.
Sorry.
No worries. Yeah, so I'm just gonna just go through this actually. So, why do you think it's close to the answer?
Uh, because it's got the correct answer, but it's not the one they want. That's what I think. So it's
Okay,
like
so
to
it's
be
actually
like 960, I think it will be.
okay. So let's look at the actual sum, the initial sum. Okay, so 203 times 42. Now, 966, right, is not that big of a number. When you're looking at 203 and 42 multiplied. So let's just think 203. Okay, so 203 is like basically 200, right? Like that's what basically is. So 200 times by 5 is 1,000. This is 966. So 200 times by 5 is greater than this. 203 times by 42 is way greater than this. Significantly greater than this. Um, and I think to kind of notice that and to understand that quickly with just like looking at the sum, you just need to practice just like multiple sums and just know what numbers will times together to make what. So if I was estimating it, and I don't even mean just is it right or wrong. If I'm estimating it and I want to try and figure out what this sum is, right? Here's what I would do. So like I said, 203 is just 200 essentially, just three more, right? So I would do I would do 2 times 42. Um, and then that gives me 84. I would then times that 84 by 100, so it'd be 8400. Um, let me see if I can. Okay, I'm afraid I can't write anything. Can I? Oh, I can. Awesome. So, if I did 20 times by 42. Sorry, not even 20, just 2. 2 times 42, right? That's 84, right? And then I did 84 times by 100 because the instead of the 203, I had 2. So I divided that by 100. Now I have to add times it by 100 again to balance it back out. So that would be 8, 4, 0, 0. Now that I've got 84,000, I need to add back on this 3, right? Because I got rid of this 3. So I would do 3 times by 42, which is, well, 2 is 84. So add one more again, and that's 126. 126. And then I do 8400. Oops. 8400 plus by 126. Now, guys, I've obviously just solved the whole problem, but my advice when estimating, they do not mean do this, right? So, just like they said here, estimate the answer by rounding to 200 times by 40. Always, generally, round to the nearest 10. 5 or 10, I think, is the best bet. Because,
John,
as I said,
uh, I'm gonna leave for like 2 minutes and come back, okay?
no worries for them.
I go in the WhatsApp group and it will be there, right?
Yeah, have you joined
Alright,
now, yeah?
alright, yeah, I'm gonna join it soon. Thank you.
I'll click the same link as you did before.
Alright, thank you very much.
No worries.
Bye.
Bye bye. So once you've rounded it to 200 by 40, you can continue to solve it. So 200 times by 40 is just 2 times by 4 times by 1000. So 2 times by 4 times by these times by this, essentially. Um, so we would expect our estimate of 8,000 to be close to the answer on the calculator, but it is not. This must mean that 966 is not the correct answer, and an error has been made when typing in the calculation on the calculator. Hope that makes sense. And I think we got the right answer. Yeah, 800 plus 126 is same as 8526. So Oliver is training to do a 6 kilometer open water swim. He swims around a lake, each lap of which is 987.5 meters. He swims at a steady speed. It takes Oliver 19 minutes and 34 seconds to swim one lap. How long does it take Oliver to swim 6K? Okay. Well, here's what we'll do. So each lap isn't this much. We round this to 1 kilometer. Um, So he takes 19 minutes, 34 seconds. Um, swim one lap. How long does it take Oliver to swim 6? So we rounded the distance of each lap to 1 kilometer. We know how long it takes him roughly to do each kilometer, so we just times the two together. So um, 19 and 34 seconds to swim one lap. Now honestly, what we could do here, because we're estimating it, I'm gonna get rid of this annoying number, make it 20. So instead, 20 minutes, and then I'm gonna make this 6 laps. So then it's just 120 minutes. Oops. Okay, whatever. But I think that's right. So if, as you can see, right, I've rounded this number. I've rounded this number so to the closest minute and to the closest like thousand. Um, if that makes sense. I think you can see like you wouldn't round that to 990. Um, in this case, because the numbers are larger, so you can round it to a greater margin of division, essentially. So I hope that makes sense. Like if you have 10,000, um, or sorry, you had 9785. So not point 0.5, 9785. I wouldn't round that to 9800, just because that's still not a nice enough number. You should round it to 10,000. It's just a nicer number. Everyone, you could just do something times 10 and then times it by 1,000 afterwards. It's so much easier. So let's see. Yep, approximately 120 minutes to swim. They've rounded it the same as me. Um, I hope that makes sense. Um, okay, so now we're going to look at evaluating expressions and making substitutions in given formulae in words and symbols. So we're going to be discussing like kind of any formula you might need to know for the exam, and just manipulating letters and substituting with numbers so that we can get the right answer. So here's kind of first example. So area times length times width. If you're ever doing the area of a rectangle for square, you'll be using this formula. And I think it's not too difficult, if you had like call this width, so this is W, this is L, and then I say, okay, um, you know, so L is now 5, W is now 3, substitute it into this formula. Well, sorry, they've done it here, I guess, but so L's 5, W's 3. I mean, it's common sense, you just put it in for the letters. Um, so using formula in context, calculating your pay, right? So let's do daily pay, right? So say you work 7 hours in a day. So you have 7 hours, and your rate is, let's call it, let's just to make it easy, £10. Okay. So we're getting £10 an hour for 7 hours. Now, I'm sure most of you in your head just did, okay, 70, I got 70, I got 70. That's fine. But let's write it out like this. So P, oh, that is a terrible P. P equals H times R, right? H being hours, R being rate, P being pay. And then I would sub them in. So 7 times by R. And then, well, I know what R is. Oh, sorry. That's supposed to be a P. So P equals 7 times by, well, what's R? R is 10. So you get £10 an hour. So that, and then 70. Obviously, easy example, but it's just to get the idea. It works the same with this, guys. Same thing. Just substitute in the value, work out one part first, use that answer in the next step. So a plumber charges £20 per hour, and sorry, he charges £20 per hour, and he works and plus £30 for materials. Sorry, let me just rub this out first, then I can focus on that question. Okay, right. So he works for total. Sorry, plumber charges £20 per hour plus £30 for materials. Formula's given here. If he works for 3 hours, this is what he does. So they've just subbed in 3 for hours times 20 plus 30 equals 60 plus 30 equals 90. Okay, so they've just done the brackets first, rewritten it again, and done that. Sure, I think that's fine. I think that's good practice for anyone who's making mistakes on these regularly. Definitely do it step by step. Uh, there's no there's no shame in doing too much working out. So Sam charges a fee for babysitting. He uses this formula. Total fee equals £6 per hour plus cost of taxi fare home. One evening, Sam babysits from 6 p.m. until 11 p.m. His taxi fare home is £8. What is Sam's total fee? So £6 per hour. He's worked 5 hours. So 6 times by 5 equals 30, and then 30 plus by cost of taxi fare home, which is £8. 38, right? I think the presentation will agree with me. Oh, sorry. So the next evening, Sam babysits for 3 hours, charges a total fee of £23.75. How much was his taxi fare? 3 times 6, which is 18. So then you do 23.75 minus 18, which you get 5.75, right? So 3 hours times by £6 per hour, 18 quid, charges a total fee 23, so you just subtract this. Yeah, absolutely. Sam is saving to buy some new trainers. He needs 50 quid. Does he earn enough from the 2 nights babysitting to buy them? So he's earned 18 quid first night, and he's earned £30. Sorry, £30 the first night, £18 the second night. 30 plus 18 is 49, 48. So he's £2 short, I believe. Unfortunate for Sam. Um, Now we're just looking at some BIDMAS. So BIDMAS or BODMAS, kind of depends how you look at it. I'm going to teach BIDMAS because this is the way I know and I was taught. So BIDMAS is just um, an abbreviation for brackets, indices, division, multiplication, addition, and subtraction. And it shows the order in which you should treat these symbols and the priority, right? So brackets come first, indices second, etc., etc. We'll work through some problems now. Okay, so that doesn't work. Yeah, so let me just explain, right? So BIDMAS, like I said, it shows the order and priority in which you should treat different symbols in a mathematical equation. Okay, so if you look at the top, brackets, right? Brackets means that the things inside the brackets are the first thing you do. And if there's two brackets, like 1, 2, 1, 2, you do the first one first. Then you deal with the second one, and then you deal with how these brackets link to each other. Um, then you do indices. So order is like indices or to the power, right? So x squared or cubed, sorry, is an indices. So after you've done with all the brackets in the sum, you can then work on the indices. And then likewise, once you've done with all the indices, you work on the division, and then the multiplication, and then addition, then subtraction, then that's it. So we're gonna do a challenge question quickly. Oh, it just didn't load. Okay. Well, thanks guys. That's the end of the first math session. I think it's. Let me try and get this last question up. Um. Oh. Okay. That's unfortunate. Well, look, guys. That's the end of today's math session. I will upload this recording to Zoom. If anyone has any questions, I need you to let me know. Me, did you have any questions on BIDMAS? Sorry, I didn't know you were here.